Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Enchanted Stitchers YouTube channel. So this is me, I'm Rachel, the Enchanted Stitcher, and I want to thank you for joining me today. I'll be talking about cross stitch, not a lot of knitting. I have finished my current knitting project, but I don't have it ready to show yet. And I've just come back from a cross stitch retreat, so I'll be mainly talking about that today. So I'll start with what I've been currently working on. But first, I want to thank everyone that's liked, commented, subscribed on my most latest video. I haven't been as quick to respond to comments. Recently, I've had a job change, and July and August have been super busy. So my apologies for not being as quick to respond to all your lovely comments. I greatly appreciate them and you, so thank you for supporting my channel. So to start off with what I've been working on, I've been working mainly on Winter Rose Manor, which is my focus piece. It is a piece that I'm doing for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. So I'll just show you where I am right now. So last time I was just doing the fence and gate. So I think I fit most of it in the frame except for this border up here. So I'll just pull it up just so you can see what I've done. So I finished the fence and gate. I've done this lovely little holly berry bowl, which was a lot of fun to stitch. Came across, did the flowers on the fence post, down to the other set of flowers. I put in the door and the windows, and I've started on the house. Unfortunately, I actually had this whole side up to about here stitched on this side of the house in a long strip along the edge using the called for color, which was conch, but it wasn't showing up on my fabric. And my parents live in a very pink house, so I was very disappointed with that, and it just was really fading into the fabric. It looked like I really hadn't stitched it at all. And a lot of people are complaining with this pattern that conch is quite pink. However, mine is very, very neutral and pale. So it's just the skeins I think I got. So it wasn't giving that pink impression. So I ended up switching it to Classic Colorworks Rose Petal, which is more the tone I was going for. I personally had a skein of Cinnamon Toast, which was leaning pink as well, and it perfectly matched my parents' bricks. I ended up sneaking over there with it before I went for a visit to see them and comparing it to their brick, but unfortunately dye lots have changed since I got that skein, and I haven't been able to source anything that's close to that skein, and one skein would not be enough to do the complete house. So I was torn between the Rose Petal and the new dye lot for Cinnamon Toast, which is again quite neutral, but I went with the Rose Petal. So that's where Winter Rose Manor is. As hard as I'm trying, I just haven't had a lot of stitching time. So unfortunately, I'm feeling at this point, halfway into September, that I'm not going to be able to get this done and framed for my parents' wedding anniversary in November. However, I might be able to get it mostly stitched and then framed afterwards. So here's hoping for that. So I have mostly worked on Winter Rose Manor when I have stitched, which unfortunately has not been as much as I would like to have done. Next up, the retreat I went to. So I went to a lovely little retreat of 25 women this past weekend in the Kitchener area. It was put on by Jenny McStitches, who's also on Flosstube. And it was just fabulous. It's run by a Mennonite group, and we go there Friday night. We laugh, we stitch, we visit, form relationships with each other, just that bond of friendship, which has just been so welcoming and warming, and it's been just an absolute delight for me since I've discovered this group. So our first retreat was in March, and we all loved it so much. We're like, well, when are we going to do the next one? Because we had originally wanted to do it in the fall, I think. So we didn't want to wait for September, October 2023. No, 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 no. So we planned it for September 22. So next year it'll be again in September 2023. And I'm already looking forward to it so much. Now, there was an absolutely lovely package that came with the retreat, and I also do have a bit of stash that I acquired there. So there was some lovely gifts as well, but I'll go over the retreat pack that Jenny provided to us with the retreat. So the first thing that we got was this lovely little autumn Halloween themed project kit bag from Kraftnkris, who I may believe has some of these in her store on Etsy, and it's just gorgeously made. I love this fabric line. It's so pretty. Really autumnal Halloween vibes. So that was lovely. And in the bag, there was a package of bow and needles, 3 skeins of Weeks Dye Works Floss, Onyx, Oscar, and Pumpkin. Very autumnal Halloween, spooky. Very nice. And there was a set of sulky petites and some lovely autumn shades. So I'll have to find a small to do that. I've never stitched with sulkies personally. So this is the 12-weight cotton petite spools. So that'll be interesting. I'll try to find a small maybe with these colors and see what I can do. I think that might also be good for Christmas with the gold, the green, and the red. So I might be able to find a small ornament to use for them. And then we had some absolutely lovely gifts. There was a needle minder from True North Needle Minders that we made, which unfortunately I don't have on me right now. There was another lady named Wendy who made these beautiful sewn kind of quilted key strap or a strap for a project bag. I might even put it on my little project bag here. And there was another lady that made floss drops. So it's just the stitchy kindness overflowed from everyone, and it was just really kind. I had the best of intentions to do some small gifts for my table mates, but life got away from me, and I feel a little guilty about that. But I think everyone understands that we're all trying to do our best right now, even though it's still not the easiest of times for a lot of people. So next year, I have the best of intentions for next year. I'll have a whole year to plan, so we'll see what happens. And then I have a little, more stitchy kindness. So Shannon Dick just recently finished this. I don't know her Instagram handle off the top of my head, so I will include it down below. This is Emerald Mermaid by Mirabilia, and she thought I might like this. I have not stitched a Mirabilia Mermaid, and I do like them. And I have some wonderful fabric from Leslie at Under the Sea Fabrics that would be perfect for a mermaid. So she gifted me this and passed along the pattern after she had completed it. So you might be seeing this at some point. And it is beautiful. Really pretty. I liked Shannon's conversion with the hair. She made her more of a redhead. So we'll see what happens there. I might be able to even do it kind of as an ode to the new Ariel that Haley Bailey is playing, and who I'm sure is going to be wonderful in the role. So I'm excited to see that. I grew up as that was one of my favorite movies when I was a child. I was 8 when The Little Mermaid came out, so it has a fond place in my memory. So moving on, so that was the wonderful freebies we got. Oh, 1 second, please. My sincere apologies for that, but I have 2 other freebies, 2 other lovely stitching kindnesses that were given to us at the retreat. The first was a needle minder from Lady named Eunice. I picked this spooky, there we go, spooky Halloween scene to fit my project bag. And then Kraft and Chris made these adorable little walnut shell filled chickens, which were a big hit. There was a lot of chicken talk on the weekend. So yeah, it was absolutely hilarious. And then she was also so kind because I have a young child. They gave me a second chicken for him, which he is absolutely loving. He's been running around clucking. And then on to haul, and then I have a finish. I did have a finish at a retreat of a project I didn't even show in my WIT parade. It was oh so old. I had completely forgot about it. So my first piece of haul was this lovely bag to match the smaller retreat bag from Kraftnkris. And her bags are just beautifully made. I would highly recommend her Etsy store. And just so lovely. Just so lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm so happy to have that set. In addition, there was Hand Dyed by Rolanda. So Rolanda from Hand Dyed by Rolanda was there. First time I have met her, and she was just a hoot and a holler and just such a lovely person. I was so happy that she sat at the table that I was sitting at. And she also gave us this lovely gift as well. So that unfortunately got put in with her other fabric, but this was part of a gift from her for attending the retreat. And it's this 28 count Alma cloth. I got it in this like ice blue color for an ornament, and there's a lovely kind of purpley variegated thread in there. I'm not going to open it up because of the crinkle. And also from Rolanda that I purchased, I got this beautiful 36 count piece of linen in the colorway Acorn. I don't have a lot of 36, so I was really happy to see that there, and it was just beautiful. So I'm happy it came home with me. And then I also picked up this piece of 32 count Lugana, and it's just gorgeous. My folding was not the greatest, so it's got some crease marks in it, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's aquas, a little bit of green, purple, and blue. And maybe a fairy or some other mythical creature will go on that. Also from Rolanda, I picked up these two lovely, yummy skeins of floss. So this is a 50 yard one of a kind in a teal. And this is a 50 yard in colored dark garnet. So it is showing up it's a little bit muted actually compared to what it is in real life. But the teal is showing up a little bit brighter. So, but somewhat closer on the teal than the dark garnet. Also from Rolanda, I got some fabric clips to hold my fabric, so I'm going to try using those. And I also picked up this Just Cross Stitch Halloween special small ornament and other sizes of project magazine. I haven't bought it recently, but I had heard good things. So there's a few patterns in it that I liked, but all in all, I'm not sure if the magazines are actually worth it for me to buy. Other people have done flip throughs, so I'm not going to do that. It's kind of old news at this point. Then from Kim's Creations, I will put, I'm not sure, but Kim Smith, Kim Stitch and Stuff, sorry, Kim Stitch and Stuff. She was there as well with some of her lovely handmade things. And I bought this thread bed for retreats, and it has this lovely dragonfly fabric. So I'm very happy with that. It's got these snaps to keep it closed. And in the same matching fabric, there's this lovely little Ort container, and it has like a contrasting, oh, that's an old Ort, you don't want to see that. This contrasting lovely blue purple with this gold sparkle that I just love. So if someone makes a bag out of that, if somebody sees it, let me know. So the humidity is really bad here today, so I feel like my hair is just increasingly going kind of crazy. My apologies. But you're here to see the stitching, I hope, not my hair. But I've got this lovely little Ort container from Kim's Stitchin' Things. Stitchin' Stuff? Stitchin' Things. I don't want to get it wrong, but I'll link her in the description below too. Stitchin' and Stuff. So that was absolutely lovely. And then a while ago in the spring, Jenny McStitches went to kind of a Stitcher's estate sale and picked up a whole slew of lovely sampler patterns, including one that I had my eye on, but she at the time did not want to part with it, but she changed her mind. So I picked up Amy Can, and I just love this scene right here. So, and these trees, I don't know what it is, but I love the trees. They're just adorable. I think they'd be a lot of fun to stitch. So I also have Sarah Brazier in my stash. So this one might be a good one to start before I attempt something of Sarah's size. Sarah, Queen of the May, I think 2019 or 2018. She was Queen of the May 1 year from Hands Across the Sea. But this is a bit smaller than that. Not that it's tiny by any means. I don't think, other than the little gems, any of the Hands Across the Seas are. But this is 307 by 276 stitches. So not small by any stretch of the imagination. But there's a fair amount of negative space, although this seam here in the middle is quite a lot of stitching. So we'll see what happens. But yes. Amy Can. It's just very sweet. Not my usual style at all, but I do like it for whatever reason. And those trees would be a lot of fun to stitch. So looking forward to that. And then the piece de resistance that I picked up was a custom order from Kraftnkris. Ooh, sneak peek there, y'all. And it's this lovely portfolio project bag that she does. And I gave her this fabric. So this is a Jan Kransky fabric from Robert Kaufman Fabric Designs. I got mine from Lens Mills. However, I think Missouri Star Quilt Company, if you shop there, may still have some of this, or there might be some other companies online that still have some of this fabric. But she just did an absolutely exquisite job with this project bag, the portfolio. And I just smooth the tissue out. She has showed this on her channel. This contrasting fabric I got from Fabricland here in Barrie. And it has a zipper here. She will put another pouch or a floss tag holder in the middle. I actually have an idea for something a little bit different that I have to sketch out for her, but I still have some fabric left that she would be possibly interested in doing my suggestion for the middle of this. But it's just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm absolutely thrilled with it. So that's that. But my plan for that is actually, after this weekend, was actually doing a stitching mat for a retreat that would be zipped into it. So this would kind of be one-stop shopping for retreats, instead of doing what I did this time, which was bring all my projects and stitch on two. So I definitely overpacked on the stitching. My thoughts was I didn't really know what I wanted to stitch on. There's a lot of things that haven't I haven't worked on recently in any capacity. So I just brought everything, which was kind of silly. I was only there for 48 hours really, and as much stitching time as he had, with my focus being on Winter Rose Manor, I don't know why I thought I would want to bring everything, but I did, and I touched 2 things, one of which I finished though. So Winter Rose Manor, Friday night, I ended up frogging out all the conch that I had stitched, and then I started on Saturday with the actual stitching. Friday night, I usually don't stitch much anyways because I'm visiting and chatting and just getting to know people, so I find that it's not my most productive time anyways. So that was good to have something to kind of keep my hands busy. So I think for Friday night for me, for retreats, for any retreats that I go to, I will plan to bobbinate, or not bobbinate, but you know, like put floss on floss drops or frog something out, because no stitching actually gets done for me on the Friday night. And then I did have a finish on Sunday afternoon, 20 minutes before we had to be out of the place. So that was a lot of fun. I was just frantically back stitching this, trying to get it done. So this isn't a project I even showed on my Whip Parade last video. So this is the Fairytale Alphabet by Joan Elliott. I started this probably close to 17 years ago, and every so often I'd complete a letter, until I ended up going through a lot of medical appointments with my son before he was born. Not to get into it, I have some health issues, so conceiving my son was extremely difficult. We ended up doing fertility treatment for on and off 2 years, and we were successful with him, so we were very lucky. But this is the piece I actually worked on with him during those times, quite a few years ago. So I had finished this A till K probably about 10 years ago, so it's wrinkled, it needs another wash, but this is A through K. So each letter has a fairy tale character. There's dragons, there's unicorns, there's fairies. I actually bought it for these little sorcerer mice, which are just too cute. And this is a Joan Elliott pattern. It was from a World of Cross Stitch magazine, one of the UK magazines. I found it back in 2000, I think it was 2004, 2003, maybe even 2005. But I don't think she reprinted it separately. You could check her website to see how it could be obtained, but this definitely needs a wash and another iron. And MOP went on a smaller piece of fabric because this was just easier for me to take to appointments. So there's a dragon, a fairy, a unicorn, and a castle. And then QRSTUVWX. So X I just recently picked up after I shot that second video, just because I wanted something small and I remembered I hadn't shown this. So I halfway finished X, and then I thought, oh, I'm so close. I'm so close to finishing on this. So why am I just hanging around to this, really? So I brought it with me to retreat, and I was able to finish it. So I finished half of X, Y, and Z at retreat. So I'm happy that it's done. It's one less project to think about. Again, I started it so long ago, I probably would change things about it. The back stitching helps a lot, but I feel that if I hadn't have done this on an Aida, it's just a 14 count white Aida from Michaels. I didn't really know any better at the time or have other resources to get other fabrics, especially for something like this. I also used the Light Effects gold floss, which is honestly the worst stuff that I've ever stitched with in my life, and I'm planning on burning what I have left of it so I never ever have to see it again. Maybe slightly dramatic, but it was just hellish to work with. I really disliked it. I think that's part of the reason why this pattern stuck around so long, and I'd come back to it every so often, just because that stuff was absolutely awful to work with. I'd rather work with Kreinik or gold lame or gold petite treasure braid or anything else. I'd sub in plain DMC if I couldn't find a metallic like a 435 or some other gold color, just because it was horrible. I can't believe that that product is still in the market. It is that awful to work with, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Some other people may enjoy it thoroughly, and I'm happy for them, but it shall never cross my needle again. So I'm very happy to be done with that. So my plan for that is to quilt it into a wall hanging. As you notice, there's not a lot of margin around the squares. I only left an inch on each side. So I'm thinking a 1/2 inch border for the quilting. I'll probably use if I could find a royal purple fabric with a metallic gold star, that would be absolutely perfect. But I'm going to go to my local quilt shop and see what I can find. I'll go to Fabricland too. I want something a little bit heavier than some of the crafting fabrics that you can get at Fabricland, just because I want it to hang nicely on the wall. Sorry about the lighting in this video. The light where I normally film, it's very changeable today. It's kind of a overcast, cloudy day, but the sun is coming in and out, so I think my camera's having a hard time adjusting to the light levels. So apologies for that. I've said a fair amount of this video as well, so again, I apologize for that, but I'm not going to reshoot, so it will be what it will be. And that's about it. So plans for moving forward. I will be working on Winter Rose Manor like a fiend, but I'm hoping I'm going to give myself breaks when I'm feeling I've had enough, especially after I finish that pink house. That's going to be a lot of pink. So I will give myself permission to do something else, maybe a new start if I want it. I haven't had a new start in a while. Even for my birthday, I ended up restarting that Barbara Anna. I chose the paler blue fabric, which I think was B, not the Under the Sea fabric. I put in just the top of one balloon on that. I did not have a lot of time to stitch on my birthday because it was a Monday and I was working, unfortunately. Maybe next year I'll take my birthday off and have a wonderful stitchy day to myself. It'll be a Tuesday. And I think that's about it. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks for leaving your comments and for subscribing. Sorry about that. It's quite some time later in the night. So the sun's already gone down, unfortunately. There was a small gentleman that came home from daycare, so I had to get him all settled for the night. So disjointed ending, shall we say, but I did want to thank everyone for commenting, subscribing, liking my videos. I'm still thoroughly surprised that there are other people out there that are enjoying the content I'm creating, and I'm hoping to continue to create. So thank you so much for all your support. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk soon. Again, I don't want to put a promise out there for my next video just because I've been pretty much every other month at this point. I would like to film a little bit more frequently, but I want to make sure that I have things to share with you and good content to share. So thank you again. I hope you all have a wonderful September and a lovely autumn. It's my most favorite time of the year when it starts to get cool at night, but it's still warm during the day. So enjoy the weather while it lasts. For those of you in Southern Ontario, because we all know snow is coming. Unfortunately, winter is just around the corner for us, and I'm sure that if you do live somewhere more temperate, I'm very jealous. But here in Southern Ontario, we know that winter is not far behind. So thank you again for all your support, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks. Take care. Bye.